people coming in from Syria if we can't stop it, but we're going to. I've made it known, if I win, they're going back. ISIS is honoring President Obama. He is the founder of ISIS. He's the founder of ISIS, okay? He's the founder. He founded ISIS. And I would say the co-founder would be crooked Hillary Clinton. I don't throw babies out, believe me. I love babies. Actually, I was only kidding. You can get the baby out of here. They say, I have the most loyal people. Did you ever see that? Where I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay? It's like incredible.
Not only was that sick and depraved man baby the 45th president of the United States of America, but somehow we actually find ourselves right back where we started in 2015. I mean, to those of us who have been paying attention, this is almost like a really bad version of the movie Groundhog's Day. Because Donald Trump is once again the Republican frontrunner to become president of the United States of America. And while it looks like much of the mainstream media is set to again give Donald Trump a pass and a free run at the White House, luckily there are still journalists out there that aren't afraid to call him out. A few people at the Washington Post recently put together a great article entitled "The Deepening Radicalization of Donald J. Trump," which I believe does a great job of comparing the rhetoric of Trump early on in his first presidential campaign and early on in his presidency to the completely unhinged and ridiculous rhetoric coming out of that man's mouth today. But before we get into the specific examples the Washington Post put together for this article, I find it really important to just remind everybody what the hell we're dealing with Donald Trump.
That's a famous Mussolini quote. You retweeted it. Do you like the quote? Did you know it was Mussolini?
It's okay to know it's Mussolini. Look, Mussolini was Mussolini. It's okay to. It's a very good quote. It's a very interesting quote.
I mean, I'm just talking about David Duke and the Ku Klux Klan here, but
I don't know, honestly, I don't know David Duke. I don't believe I've ever met him. I'm pretty sure I didn't meet him, and I just don't know anything about him.
Do you plan to visit with the Pope when he comes into Philadelphia?
Well, the Pope believes in global warming. You do know that, right? Written by a nice reporter. Now the poor guy, you got to see this guy. Oh, I don't know what I said. I don't remember. He's going like, I don't remember. Oh, maybe that's what I said. Whoever the hell brought this mic system, don't be the son of a bitch to put it in, I'll tell you. These people. No, this mic is terrible. The stupid mic keeps popping. Nevada. And you know what I said? You know what I said? I said when I came out here, I said, nobody says it the other way. It has to be Nevada. He said I had small hands. Actually, I'm 6'3", not 6'2", but he said I had small hands. They're not small, are they? I never heard that one before. Donald Trump has small hands. So I said, small hands. These guys know. I hit a ball 280 yards. Stand up, my club champion, stand up. Do I hit the ball good? Do I hit it long? Is Trump strong? Huh? He referred to my hands. If they're small, something else must be small. I guarantee you there's no problem. I guarantee it. All right. Okay. I think we should take a drug test prior to the debate. My mic was defective within the room.
Did that explain the sniffles then?
Did you see where Biden wants to take me to the back of the barn? Me. He wants it. I'd love that. I'd love that. Mr. Tough Guy. So I spent a long time this morning on making my shoes so beautiful, so shiny. And then I walked through more dusty floors than I've ever seen in my life.
Typically, when family members that old start speaking like that in public, it's normally around the time you start considering the home, but not in the United States. That is the Republican frontrunner to be the presidential nominee. But let's get into the first set of clips from this Washington Post article. This first video is comparing Donald Trump in 2016, seemingly apologizing for his comments on the Access Hollywood tapes and how he addresses that same exact topic in the supposed CNN town hall just recently.
You bragged that you have sexually assaulted women. Do you understand that?
No, I didn't say that at all. I don't think you understood what was said. This was locker room talk. I'm not proud of it. I apologize to my family. I apologize to the American people. Certainly, I'm not proud of it. But this is locker room talk.
There was a tape deposition of you from October in it. You defended the comments that you made on that Access Hollywood tape about being able to grab women how you want Do you stand by those comments?
I said if you're famous and rich or whatever I said, but I said if you're a star, you are, and I said women let you. I didn't say you grab, I said women let. You know, you didn't use that word, but if you look, women let you. Now, they said, will you take that back? I said, look, for 1,000,000 years, this is the way it's been. I want to be honest. This is the way it's been. I can take it back if you'd like to, but if you're a famous person, if you're a star, and I'm not referring to myself, I'm saying people that are famous, people that are
You were
stars,
asked in the deposition,
people
do you
that are
consider
rich,
yourself to be a star,
people
and you
that are
said yes.
powerful, they tend to do pretty well in a lot of different ways, okay? And you would like me to take that back? I can't take it back because it happens to be true. I said it's been true for 1,000,000 years, approximately 1,000,000 years, perhaps a little bit longer than that.
So you stand by those comments?
Well, I don't want to lie.
Mr. President, we have a lot of
here's what
questions.
she wants
Mr.
me to say.
President, let's
A
get to
rich
the
and
audience
famous
questions
person
tonight.
has no advantage over anyone else. Well, you do have an advantage. And I say unfortunately, but that's the way it is.
You said fortunately or unfortunately,
Well,
but Mr.
fortunately or
President, we have a lot of
unfortunately for
audience
her.
questions.
I mean, there's just an obvious and unmistakable difference in the way that he answers the same question on the same topic back in 2016 and the way he answers it today. Or like this example in which the rhetoric really hasn't changed that much.
In every single swing state, local officials, state officials, almost all Democrats made illegal and unconstitutional changes to election procedures without the mandated approvals by the state legislatures, that these changes pave the way for fraud on a scale never seen before.
It's been nearly 2.5 years. Can you publicly acknowledge that you did lose the 2020 election?
Let me just go on. If you look at True the Vote, they found millions of votes on camera, on government cameras, where they were stuffing ballot boxes. We have
Acknowledge the
elections
results.
that were horrible. If you look at what happened in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, if you look at what happened in Detroit, Michigan, if you look at what happened in Atlanta, millions of votes. And all you have to do is take a look at government cameras. You'll see them. People going to 28 different voting booths to vote, to put in 7 ballots apiece.
But
I mean,
Mr. President,
and they're all
I
on
have
camera.
to stop you there because there is no evidence of that.
What a petulant child he is with just the absolute inability to admit defeat. But those of us who have followed Donald Trump closely over the years, like those of you watching the Meidas Touch Network right now, know that hearing Donald Trump's claims of rigged elections and things that were stolen from him are nothing new.
It's a rigged system. The system is totally rigged and broken. This system is rigged. We're competing in a rigged election. This is a rigged election.
That you will absolutely accept the result of this election.
I will look at it at the time. I'm not looking at anything now. I'll look at it at the time.
Are you saying you're not prepared now to
What
commit
I'm
to that
saying
principle?
is that I will tell you at the time. I'll keep you in suspense. I'll totally accept the results of this great and historic presidential election if I win.
Honestly, to this day, it still blows my mind to hear anybody involved with United States politics say those things out of their mouth. And as dangerous as it is for a United States politician and presidential candidate to claim any election was rigged or unfair, I think the rhetoric surrounding the January 6th attack on the United States Capitol has the potential to become even more dangerous.
A truly magnificent nation. All Americans were horrified by the assault on our Capitol. Political violence is an attack on everything we cherish as Americans. It can never be tolerated. Now more than ever, we must unify around our shared values and rise above the partisan rancor and forge our common destiny. I don't think, and I've spoken to hundreds of thousands of people, I've never spoken to a crowd as large as this, and that was because they thought the election was rigged. And they were there proud. They were there with love in their heart. That was an unbelievable, and it was a beautiful day.
Will you pardon the January 6 rioters who were convicted of federal offenses?
I am inclined to pardon many of them. I can't say for every single one because a couple of them probably they got out of control. My answer is I am most likely, if I get in, I will most likely, I would say it will be a large portion of them. You know, they did a very... And it'll be very early on. And they're living in hell right now.
So when it comes
they're
to
living
pardons,
in hell. and they're policemen, and they're firemen, and they're soldiers, and they're carpenters and electricians, and they're great people. Many of them are just great people.
Or like in this example given by the Washington Post, where radical rhetoric has only given way to even more radical rhetoric.
We've worked very hard in 4 years. We've been hit by fake investigations, fake scandals, fake impeachments. We've had so many things that the witch hunt, I call it the witch hunt, and it turned out to be a phony witch hunt, and they should have known it the first day. They did know it the first day, but it's the deep state, it's whatever you want to call it. The Biden regime's weaponization of law enforcement against their political opponent is something straight out of the Stalinist Russian horror show. And you know, we go Stalinist Russia, that's what it was. This was where it seems to have begun from the standpoint of us watching it in semi-modern day history. You go back to communist China or look at a third world banana republic. That's what we've become. Between our borders, our elections, and the weaponization of law enforcement, banana republic, that's what we have become.
Or like in this example where he just does a complete 180 and just totally contradicts what he said just years ago when he was president.
We want security for our country. The Republicans want security and insist on security for our country, and we will have that. At the same time, we have compassion. We want to keep families together. It's very important.
Another immigration policy you had was the zero-tolerance immigration policy that separated families at the border. If you are reelected, are you ruling out instituting that?
Well, when you have that policy, people don't come. If the family hears that they're going to be separated, they love their family. They don't come. So I know it sounds harsh, but if you remember they said I was building prisons for children. It turned out that it was Obama that was building the prisons for the children.
But would you re-implement that if you're reelected? Is that what you're saying?
We have to save our country, all right?
So it sounds like that's a yes.
No. When you say to a family that if you come, we're going to break you up, they don't come. And we can't afford to have any more.
And here's one of his more notable contradictions now that the Republicans are trying to hold the U.S. economy hostage.
Well, hopefully we're in good shape on the debt ceiling. I can't imagine anybody ever even thinking of using the debt ceiling as a negotiating wedge. When I first came into office, I asked about the debt ceiling, and I understand debt ceilings, and I certainly understand the highest rated credit ever in history and a debt ceiling. And I said, I remember to Senator Schumer and to Nancy Pelosi, would anybody ever use that to negotiate with? They said, absolutely not. That's a sacred element of our country. They can't use the debt ceiling to negotiate.
You once said that using the debt ceiling as a negotiating wedge just could not happen. You said that when you were in the Oval Office.
That's when I was president.
So why is it different now that you're out of office?
Because now I'm not president.
The disgusting laugh track of that New Hampshire audience still pisses me off to no end, too. And obviously because Donald Trump isn't in charge of the country, the anti-American, inherently authoritarian rhetoric is back.
When was the last time you heard something good about our country? Well, we won. We beat China. We beat Mexico. We beat somebody. We never win. You don't hear good news about this country. We are in a position where we just never win. And that's because of our leadership. But we have no choice. If we don't do this, our country will be lost forever. People are tired of rhinos and globalists. They want to see America first. That's what they want. It's not too complicated. This is the final battle. They know it. I know it. You know it. Everybody knows it. This is it. Either they win or we win. And if they win, we no longer have a country.
Don't forget it was people like Mussolini, Hitler, and Stalin that also claimed to be the only thing standing in between their country and total ruin. And if the mainstream media is only going to call this stuff out every once in a while, then we here at the Meidas Touch Network have to continue to call this shit out every single day. And the best way to get more and more people to see that is for more and more people to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, tell them Brian sent you. We really have to fight these people together. Like I said, if the mainstream media isn't going to step up to the plate, then we here at the Meidas Touch Network have to do it. And with the fans here and the people that I now call family, I think we've created the perfect community to do just that.
Hey Meidas Mighty, love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.